Hi, this is the Kemp Harris Group, and you're watching the extended play sessions. First song we're going to play for you is called Ruthies. I don't go to Ruthie's no more, no. I don't feel welcome cause here they come marching like we the people with constitutional rights. And they call on the Lord with all of his might to strike me down, so I never stay around. I went knocking on the church front door, well, I met a man named Leviticus, quoting from the Bible, wrote a chapter in the book, had a copy in his hand for proof. That's why I try to stay aloof. They're just God-fearing people with family values, and they don't value no family with people like me. Why try to let them be? I said goodbye to my mother today. Well, on the road to Gethsemane, walking in the rain, no escape from the lions, let the gladiator games begin. And I call to the crowd for mercy, but still no justice comes. Only their downturned thumbs. They're just God-fearing people with family values, and they don't value no family with people like me. Their eyes are open, but they just don't see. What makes them think they're so beautiful? What makes them think I'm so wrong? Don't they know we all can be beautiful? Why does it always take so long? Oh, 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 Lord. What makes them think they're so beautiful? What makes them think I'm so wrong? Well, don't they know we all can be beautiful? Why does it always take so long? Oh, 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 Lord. On the line between church and state, well, there was a man from the government trying to find evidence, told me that the love that I felt for my brother was wrong. They're just God-fearing people with family values, and they don't value no family with people like me. Maybe love will set them free.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we've stopped now.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how everything works, you know. I don't want to do the wrong thing. Yeah.
Sure those shells aren't making a problem. We didn't check it.
So Bill?
Cool.
Bill? Do I say you're watching the extended play every time? No. Oh, just, okay, now I roll. All right, then I got that. Okay, good. Now I can have a good time. It was such a big speech. I was like, you're watching the extended, oh my God. It's explained, their sessions, I don't know, they're his, I don't know. Thank you. I wrote that last song, by the way, too, just so you know. I wrote the one that's coming up, too, Some of the others I'll tell you after, because if you don't like them, I don't want you to know who wrote it. Oh, okay. So I just say the next song is this and move. All right. This next song that we're going to play is called Something You Heard Before. I love you more than you'll ever know, and every day I tell you so. One day you will see that love will grow, and every day I tell you so. You say, I don't want to hear it, you say. Telling is talking, you say. Talking's only words, you say. Words hurt another man. One day you will see that love will grow, and every day I tell you so, baby. Give us more time, just a little more. Wait on me, baby. You say, I don't want to hear it, you say. Waiting is hurting, you say. Hurting another man, baby. Someday be like it was in the past. Something you've heard before. Someday I'll give you something, make it last. Something you heard before. Wow. I know you want me to let you go. I'm holding tighter than before, baby. One day I will up and fly away. I'm loving you until that day. I say, baby, I love you. I say, loving is human. I say, human is forgiving. I say, forgive another man, baby. say, baby, release me, you say, releasing is giving, you say, giving is loving, you say, loving another man, baby. I'll someday be like it was in the past, something you've heard before. Thank you. Yep. All right. Okay. Cool. Guys ready? This is a song that I wrote with Josh Stoltzfus. It's called Sweet Weepin' Jesus. But I'm going to start with a little bit of a Joni Mitchell intro. And so once again, my dear Johnny, my dear friend, and so once again, you are fighting them all. And when we ask you why, you raise your sticks and cry, and we follow, my friend. When did you come to trade the fiddle for the drum? Today, war is just a game we play. Someone will win and some will lose. Look at all the lives we've lost. Won the war, but at what cost? Wonder next time what we'll choose. I said, oh my God, the tempest is raging. I said, oh my God, our ship has no captain. I said, oh my God, please hear us when we call. Sweet weeping Jesus, sweet weeping Jesus, sweet weeping Jesus, don't let us fall. Won't you hear us when we call? When we call? Climb the ladder, run by run. Politicians speak in tongues, and no one understands what they say. Hear the ringing of the nails. Governments are up for sale. How the hell we let it get this way? I said, oh my God, there are thieves in the temple. I said, oh my God, the pillars are falling. I said, oh my God, don't leave us down here all alone. Sweet weeping Jesus, sweet weeping Jesus, sweet weeping Jesus, don't leave us alone. Honey, could you pick up your phone? Could you pick up your phone? don't leave us alone. We can't make it on our own. We can't make it on our own. I said, sweet, sweet Jesus, could you help me? Sweet, sweet Jesus, don't leave me here. Sweet, sweet Jesus, don't leave us here all alone. Jesus, I can't make it on my own. Jesus, on my own. Jesus, I said, sweet weeping Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. This is fun.
How about Blackbird?
My mic here? Yeah, hey, how are you? I didn't write this one, but it's cool. It's still a cool song. But anyway, this is Bye Bye Blackbird, but I'm doing the version that I heard Joe Cocker play way back in the day. So this is Bye Bye Blackbird a la Joe Cocker. One, I'm not going to do all the crazy, you know. Okay. Just so you know that. One, two. Oh. All right. See, I was gonna go and everything. These guys, they're making me wait. You guys ready? No, I'm okay. I wait for Josh because he's important. You know what? I am a storyteller. So one time. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Pack up all my cares and woes, feeling low. Here I go.
That was a dog. Let's do that again.
Okay.
Just roll.
Roll again? Okay.
Piggy, piggy.
Okay, here we go. Slightly a little bit. Can we roll? Okay. Here. 1, 2, 3. Pack up all my cares and woes, feeling low. Here I go. I sit by. Blackbird now. Where somebody waits for me, sugar sweet, but so is she. I said bye, yeah, bye Blackbird. No one seems to love or understand me now. All the hard love stories they keep on handing me, they keep handing me. Oh, somebody shines a light. Yes, I'm coming home late tonight now. I want to say bye-bye, hey, bye-bye, Blackbird. Hey. no one seems to love or understand me now. Oh, the hard luck stories they keep on handing me. They keep handing me. Yeah. Oh, somebody shine a light. Yes, I'm coming home late tonight now. Oh, Lord, yeah. I want to say bye-bye, Blackbird. Lord, have mercy. I'll keep loving you, babe. Josh Stoltzfus on guitar, Jim Lucchese on the drums, Brian Verrocchio on the bass, Adam Moe on harp, and Kemp Harris say, I'm gonna clap for you myself. All right. We're getting some claps and everything, though, you know. Am I good? Oh, okay.
Sometimes now he's like, you gotta go.
I know. So let's not mess up, guys. He'll kick us out. This is a song that I wrote. It's called Edenton. Edenton is a little town in North Carolina. That's where I was born. And I was born in 1952. And I remember signs that said colored and white and all that kind of thing. I remember going to the movie theater, and you would go downstairs, you would buy a ticket, and then you go back outside, and you go down the alley, and you take the fire escape, because that's where, you know, black folks were allowed to sit. As a kid, your parents protect you from stuff, so I just thought we went there because it was cool. I had no idea. But later, I was talking to my mom about some of the things that happened there. And so this is kind of like me looking back at that place, but with grown-up eyes, and it's called Edenton. Every Monday morning, a white man's at the door. Insurance cost $25 a week. Who could ask for more? Movie show in the evening. My whole family's there. Climb the fire escape to the balcony, 'cause it sure is nice up there. But back in Edenton, everybody knew their place, and everyone had a smile on their face. Back in Edenton, I'll take care of you, and you'll take care of me. Mama standing in the front yard, little kids are jumping rope. She's thinking about the things she'd seen, hope we never know. People walking in the evening, and everybody seems so kind. Say good evening, how you doing? Well, I guess I'm doing fine. 'Cause back in Edenton, everybody knew their place, and everyone had a smile on their face. Back in Edenton, I always knew just where I was supposed to be. They said it was easier, so much easier. It was easier. It was easier. Been away so long now, that insurance man left town. And those quarters, they don't mean nothing, since the house is all burned down. But back in Edenton, everybody knew their place. Everyone had a smile on their face. Back in Edenton, take care of you, and you'll take care of me. Wow. Back in Edenton, oh, in the town where I was born, but I never knew that I'd be gone so long. No, it was easier, well, it was easier. Everybody, yes sir, no sir, how are you doing sir? Everybody knew their place, everyone had a smile on their face. Everybody knew their place, everyone had a smile on their face. Everybody knew their place, and everyone had a smile on their face. Everybody knew their place, everyone had a smile on their face. Thank you so much. So, yeah, we got to get the clap and everything, but yeah, we're going to do wiggle. Okay, so, I'll tell you about it when we finish the clap. Yeah. I know. So, I wrote this song. It's called, where's Steve Kate? Steve, this is for you. I wrote this song for a friend of mine. She had moved out to L.A. and she was like, oh no, I'm in L.A. It's like all crazy. I don't know what to do. Or how will I make it? I'm not a big city kind of gal. And I was like, honey, don't worry about it. Just wiggle your way through the nightlife. So that was the advice I gave her. And this is the tune. Yeah. There's another friend of mine, Doug, who likes this song too. Yeah. All right. Wherever you are. Woo. Okay. It's called Wiggle My Way Through the Nightlife. Yeah. All right, here we go. Big time, high life. I got keys to the villa and I drive a fancy car of my own. Get high, I'm fine. I got friends in places who'll get me anything that I want. What am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? How will I find my way when I wanna get home to you? How will I know what's right? How will I know what's wrong? How will I get back home? I'll wiggle my way through the nightlife. I'm working my way through the mainstream. I keep watching my back for the dull life. So I wiggle my way through the nightlife. Don't even know their real names. In the crowd, I'm fine. Everybody loves a winner and everybody's playing the game. How did I wind up here? How did I come this far? How do I give my love when I don't know where you are? How will I know what's right? How will I know what's wrong? How will I get back home? I wiggle my way through the nightlife. I'm working my way through the mainstream. I keep watching my back for the dull life. So I wiggle my way through the nightlife. Oh, wow. Somebody get me out tears on my pillow and I can't find a way to get home. I'm fine, I'll just bend like a willow cause I know I'm gonna be alone. What am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? How do I find my way when I wanna get home to you? How will I know what's right? How will I know what's wrong? How will I get back home? I wiggle my way through the nightlife. I'm working my way through the mainstream. I keep watching my back for the dull life. So I wiggle my way through the nightlife. Oh, sometimes I got tears on my pillow and I can't find a way to get Somebody, I wiggle my way through the nightlife. I'm working my way through the mainstream. I wiggle my way, I wiggle my way, I wiggle my way, I wiggle my way, I wiggle my way through the nightlife. Thank you. Carrie, you know every word. It's awesome. Oh, you know what? Not yet, but that's a great idea. Oh, okay. Thank you. This next tune is called If Loneliness. Thank you, I'll check it out. This song is called If Loneliness Was Black, and I wrote this with a man named Dwight Roden, and he choreographed a piece for the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. So when they would come to town, Dwight and Desmond, who was like the premier check out Desmond Richardson, it's ridiculous. So they would stay at the house sometimes because we knew them. And so one afternoon, Desmond's on the phone and he's standing there. He's got his leg up to here. And he's talking on the phone. And he's like, yeah. Well, we're writing this piece, and I don't know. We need to get like some kind of a piano thing. I don't know. And then Dwight goes, Kemp, do you want to try to write something? Okay. So he gave me like about 6 pages of prose that he'd written, and I sort of gleaned through that, and what hit me was the line, if loneliness was black. And so the piece is sort of about that. Are we okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. I'm good.
Sorry.
You know, she goes out of tune. What can you say?
Yeah, Are we good now? Ryan, they want to know if she has a name.
Yeah, hard to move around.
Just tell me when.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. Hey, no, don't apologize. Ooh, wow. Bill doesn't look mad. I think we're okay. Okay, I bet you will.
Wow.
That doesn't sound good. No. When he goes, wow.
Okay.
We're good? Okay. La da do, day, oh, la da do, day. I sit alone together with you. I float in limbo, trying to decipher what color is my soul today. If loneliness day brings darkness, zebras in the moonlight, fire burns, two shades to gray, and still they feel the rain. Melt my heart away, pour your grounded love through me. Your earthy caress moves a great part of my soul. No secret in my heart touches the depth of your sky. We close our eyes as if a muddy rain had cleared the forest, and every doe and buck was in their place. Oh, I sit alone together with you. I float in limbo, trying to decipher what color is my soul today. If loneliness was black and every zebra that runs wild is free. Thank you. Thank you.
Why don't you guys do Nightlife?
Cool. So, oh, I'm gonna wait for the clap. So, this is a song, it's called Nightlife. It was written by Willie Nelson, but I heard it first performed by Aretha Franklin. So I thought she had written it and, you know, everything. So I thought, okay, cool. And I'll tell you a little secret. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Aretha Franklin. So since I couldn't do that, I thought, well, at least learn to sing, you know, and try to have that. I mean, I'm not going to be like Aretha Franklin, but this is the version I heard. So are we set, sir? Me and Brian are going to just do this, just us. In the evening, when the sun goes down, you're gonna find me doing what I'm doing right now, and that's just sitting around the nightlife. It ain't no good life, but it's my life. Yes, it is. And oh, good people, just like you and me, they sit around dreaming. They're dreaming about there used to be, but I'll tell y'all that the nightlife sure ain't no good life. But it's my life, Oh, yes it is. Oh, listen to the blues. To the blues and what they're playing. Listen to the blues. To the blues and what they're saying. They seem to be saying to me that many people have loved and so many people have lost. But hey, listen, they might not have loved at all had they known that they couldn't pay the cost. Oh, they tell me, yeah, they tell me, yeah, they tell me, yeah, they tell me. They tell me life is just an empty, empty scene. They say it's older than the oldest broken hearts and newer than the newest broken dreams. But I tell you that the nightlife, that nightlife, sure, it ain't no good life. But it's my life, yes, yes. I tell you that the nightlife sure ain't no good life. But do you know that it's my life? Yeah. Brian Baraki. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. So when I was about 15 years old, I heard this album. It was Tracy Nelson and Mother Earth, and it was called Living with the Animals. And on this album, Tracy Nelson did a song called Down So Low. And it was deep. And at 15, I was like, whoa, one day I'm gonna sing that song. Today's that day. And I'm not even gonna lie to you. There's so many chord changes in this thing. I've got a piece of paper taped up here on the piano because there's no way I could have pulled this off. So if you see me looking down here, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. And I also...
It's a 3-sheet chart, by the way.
I also wrote the things like really big because I have to wear reading glasses now. So I try to make it really big print so that I wouldn't have to put on glasses and have them, you know, it's like so uncool when you have to put your glasses on to read this stuff. So if something goes up wrong, it just means I should have had the glasses and I didn't, and okay, so we'll roll with that. All right, okay. You guys good? All right. When you went away, I cried for so long. I wanted you to stay, but that was all wrong. The pain you left behind has become part of me. And it's burned out a hole where my love used to be. But it's not losing you that's got me down so low. I just can't find another man to take your place. Now you know I loved you, but that wasn't what good does it do when no one can touch me the way you used to do? But it's not losing you that's got me down so low. I just can't find me another man to take your place. I know your opinion of me isn't good. Please try to understand that I'd change if I could. This coldness inside me, well, it's starting to build, and a man ain't got nothing unless he's fulfilled. But it's not losing you that's got me down so low. I just can't find me another man to take your place, 'cause no one can, no one can, baby, baby. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, buckle up. Oh, I gotta wait for the clap.
You know, there's a joke in there, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave it.
I gotta tell you.
Don't wait too long.
I gotta tell you, my husband Bill is in the audience. I do not have the clap. It's all good. He's got, I do not need it. Oh, no. He has the thing.
He doesn't
Oh,
have
that's
it.
worse.
He doesn't have it.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I have lost.
You're watching the extended play sessions. He's like, no, don't tell them that. It's being broadcast. No, okay. All right.
Two.
All right. So these guys in this band, Jim Lucchese on drums, Brian Verrocchi, Adam O on the harps, Josh Stoltzfus. We have played together in so many variations, and one of our variations was a band called Roll Over Baby. And it means just what it sounds like. It was horrifying.
Just what it says.
Yeah, I was saying. But so these guys, this is my chance to just stand and just be a rock guy, kind of yelling at people. I love it. Buckle in. Okay. All right, I'm ready. Oh, this song is called "I Don't Play No Rock and Roll." All right.
Not very.
Yeah!
wanted was Mississippi Fred McDowell, or Mississippi Fred McDowell, or Mississippi Fred McDowell, or Mississippi Fred McDowell, Mississippi Fred McDowell. Shake it on down, shake it on down, shake it on down. When I was just a little boy, growing up way down south, the only music I want to hear was the music from Freddie McDowell's mouth. I found out later on, when I became a man, music of Fred McDowell was spreading all across the land. That's why I don't play no rock and roll. I don't play no rock and roll. I don't wear no long hair. I don't like to scowl. All I ever wanted was Mississippi Fred McDowell. 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 Shake it on down. Shake it on down. Shake it on down.
And then we said, wait a second, these rocks are love. These rocks are for love. So we started grabbing up the rocks and put them in our pockets, rubbing them up on us, making love to the rocks. And we said, hey, these rocks are good medicine. Good medicine, I tell you.
That's why I don't play no rock and roll. I don't play no rock and roll. I don't wear no long hair. I don't like to scowl. All I ever wanted was Mississippi Fred McDowell. 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 Shake it on down. Shake it on down. Shake it on down. Thank you. You guys are animals. We have one more piece for you. And I would, my mom lives in Jamaica Plain. Hey mom, yeah. She's not watching because she's not like into streaming and computers and stuff. I'll have to get her a DVD later. But she's a church kind of gal. She's got the church hat. She's got the orange lipstick. She's got little heels, and so she's real serious. And if I didn't do a something gospel-y, she would be like, so upset. In fact, the first time I told her, I said, when I first started playing in clubs, I was like, yeah, Ma, we're playing at this club downtown in Boston. She was like, so you're not singing for the Lord anymore? I hadn't expected that. I was like, no, yeah, I'll come to your church and do that. And she said, okay. You make sure when you're in them clubs that nobody's slipping drugs in your pocket. I was like, Ma, you have to slip money in their hand. It doesn't work that way. So her whole idea of playing out in clubs was totally different. But anyway, I'm going to do this gospel piece. She will love it when she sees, and she'll know that none of you slip drugs in my pocket, which is a good thing. Oh. Are we go? Come on. All right. All right, I'm gonna. Is everybody ready?
Good to go.
Ma, that part's not okay. I don't even know that woman. All right, you ready? All right, here we go. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Oh, rock me, Lord, come and easy. I got hold on the other side. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Oh, swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Yeah, rock me, Lord, come and easy. I got hold on the other side. See that woman there all dressed in white, coming for to carry me home. She must be the children of the Israelites, coming for to carry me home. That's why I say, swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Hey, swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Hey, rock me, Lord, come and easy. I got hold on the other side. See that woman there all dressed in red, coming for to carry me home. I'm going up to heaven, that's exactly what she said. Coming for to carry me home. That's why I say, swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Oh, swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Hey, rock me, Lord, come and easy. I got hold on the other side. See that woman there all dressed in black, coming for to carry me home. I'm going up to heaven and I ain't coming back, coming for to carry me home. That's why I say, swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Hey, swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Oh, rock me, Lord, come and easy. I got a home, I got a home, I got a home. Come on, chariot, swing on down, yes. Take me higher. Oh, Lord, got me a home, yes. Other side. Come on, chariot, take me down. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. On the harp. Get back on that stage, Adamo. Get back on that stage, Adamo. Get on that stage, Adamo. Josh Stokes was on guitar. Brian Meraki on the bass. Jim Lucchese on the drums. Adam O on the floor. Ever again.
is Kemp Harris. Mighty Kemp Harris.
So much. Thank you. Awesome. Bill, thank you. Thank you.
Keep playing? Oh, awesome. What do you want to do? What do you want to redo?
Wow.
Sex was good. Something you heard before.
Okay.
Something, yeah.
Sweet Weeping was good, right?
Yeah, it was great.
Bye Bye Blackbird.
I thought 5. Did you like it?
Edenton was okay. You gotta keep this next one up. Bye Bye Blackbird or.
Let's do something.
Sorry, we're just figuring out.
We hadn't planned on we didn't know you guys were gonna stand up.
Let's do something.
Something you heard before?
You know,
I broke this thing.
we couldn't pull miles off, could we? Somebody's yelling miles. We haven't practiced that.
Let's just do the redos first.
Okay. How many are we gonna do?
I don't know. Whatever.
Chuck Ship.
Which one could we redo that we would like to do
Ones
better?
you guys not like.
Which one did you hate?
I say something you heard before.
Oh, you know what? Let's go around and let's just do Mother Earth Wing It.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We're gonna wing Mother Earth. Okay.
Wanna play that?
Oh,
Mother
yeah.
Earth.
What version of that you wanna play?
The schmaltzy,
Mother Earth with me, Jim, and you. What about you and Adam?
Huh?
You and Adam.
Okay. Let's just do a full band Mother Earth and harp the whole thing. We'll do it in G. All right. Okay. We were gonna do a redo, but we figured we're gonna give you something that you haven't heard before. But we have not rehearsed this. So if we shit the bed. What? No. 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 I don't know the words for that. Okay, let's just do Mother Earth and just see what happens in June. Okay, we're gonna do Mother Earth, and and now we have not played this. Josh is looking at me with his eyebrows probably up to here right now.
Man, this is an old shoe, Josh.
All right,
Come on.
here we go.
Can I get a little guitar in 5?
Guitar on 5.
Oh, what about Dr. Field?
Oh, yeah. It's the same thing. Same idea. G.
No, okay, no, we're gonna do Mother. Okay, Mother Earth. Okay, okay, Mother Earth.
You want to play it like the record and then the band come in? Or?
No, I'm gonna do just a blues, slow blues thing. Yeah.
Well, you can.
Okay. All right. All right. Mother Earth. Okay. 1, 2. Well, you can hi-hat me all the time, and you may never come my way, but Mother Earth is waiting for you. There's a debt you gotta pay. I don't care how rich you are, and I don't care what you were. 'Cause when it all comes down, you got to go back to Mother Earth. Take us to Mother Earth, please.
Man, let's do it. Dr. John.
Well, I'm not afraid of dying, but there's one thing I can't forget. You know there's no one who's gonna over there come back to talk to me about it yet. I don't care how rich you are, and I don't care what you were. I don't care what you were, 'cause when it all comes down, you got to go back to Mother Earth. Yeah, Mother Earth. Woo. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Josh Stoltzfus. Adam Osgood. Brian Baraki. Jim Lucchese. My name is Kemp Harris. This is the Kemp Harris Group. Thank you so much.
Blackbird.
Really?
Really? Oh, pick one. Pick one. You don't want to do it. It's
No. I just don't want these people to be.
That's okay.
Okay.
You want to hear another song?
You want to hear a better version of the song we played earlier?
Blackbird. Oh, okay. We're gonna roll Blackbird again because we just want a better version of it. If that's okay. And then you know what I like to do at the very end?
What?
I like to play something on piano.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna do a single thing on piano and we're gonna follow tonight. All right. Okay, we're gonna do that. So is it okay if we do one that we did before? Then I'm gonna play a.
I'll tell you what,
Please.
I got an hour and 40 seconds.
Oh no.
We'll do a roll of a baby sound.
All right, good.
Turn the bass down.
Roll cameras.
We're gonna do Bye Bye Blackbird because we just like a better version. Are we good? Here we go. Okay. Yeah. And then after that, I'm gonna do one more more thing. We're not going to keep making you people sit around, I swear. But I'm going to do a very pretty thing on the piano because I play pretty things too. I'm just not always like yelling at people. Yeah. Are we good? Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Pack up all my cares and woes, feeling low. Here I go. I said bye. Oh, Blackbird. Where somebody waits for me, sugar sweet, so is she. I said bye, yeah, now. Bye bye, Blackbird. No one seems to love or understand me now. Oh, the hard love stories, they keep on handing me. They keep handing me. Yeah. Oh, somebody shine a light. Yes, I'm coming home late tonight now. I want to say bye-bye. Hey, bye-bye, Blackbird. Thank you. I'm going to do Joni Mitchell only because I haven't played that. I just want to play a soft thing. Cool. All right. I'm going to play a piece for you that I wrote. I am a Joni Mitchell fanatic. And this is a song that I wrote. It's called, very long title, I Like the Way That Joni Mitchell Runs Those Words So Close Together. Because Joni Mitchell can take like this much word and fit into a phrase that big. Only she can do that kind of thing. So the song goes like this. Tracks disappear behind a metro line of train. Thinking about where I've gone and could I ever reach that space again. But I don't think I can take it, especially when you sit and stare. And I don't know if you love me, and I don't know if you care. Sometimes I think I know you, and when you talk, I know what you mean. And your body fits on mine like a pair of well-worn blue jeans. But other times I don't know you, and I can't figure who you are. And your emotions fly so fast, they're like shooting stars, shooting, shooting, flying and diving. Sometimes our love reminds me of a Joni Mitchell song. The melody is so beautiful, but the words, the lyrics can get so long. And are we a long player, the kind the FM stations play? Or are we simply top 40 on the AM hit parade? They seem to be always changing.
All right, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be bringing... Kemp, we're going to bring everybody up? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to need 5 chairs, and we'll have a chat with these guys. Think of what you want to say. All right, let's hear it again for Kemp Harris. Check 1 2. Check check 1 2. All right, let's do a mic check, guys.
Hey, mic check. Hello. Hey, check. Check.
Look at that, we're all working.
Okay, well, okay.
Kemp,
Probably gonna need one, Kemp.
What did you say? Okay, I got a mic. I'm good. Okay.
You got one.
Yeah. Are we going to be clapping at us this time, or are we just...
Yeah, we do one clap.
Oh, there is a clap. Oh,
But Kemp doesn't have it, so.
All right, Jerry. There you go. All right, everybody got this? All right.
I love that.
You do love it.
I love that.
You do. Tell me. I have to tell you, every artist develops their own relationship with the slate. Janova Magnus had the toughest time with that. She was, she was frightened.
No, I embrace the clap.
Well, I'm not sure. Not sure how I'm going to comment on that. I am going to say, though, that there were so many moments tonight where I actually had chills.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's been great moments in this room. You can look at the walls, and you can, even as a musician, when you walk in here, you know that a lot of notes have been played here. A lot of heavy players have played on this stage, and but moments like tonight, I can't think of a lot. I can think of great moments of just awe, but moments of looking at my arm and having the hair stand up, and just feeling more spiritually attached to the music.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you so much.
And it almost didn't happen, didn't it, for you? It almost just never happened. You came to the party a little bit late, So let's talk about, the was it confidence? Was it just?
I don't know. I mean, I'd always made music. Even when I was a kid, I'd always made music, but I hadn't played out in clubs and things a bit. There's a friend of mine here tonight. His name is Bernie. There was a coffee house in Cambridge called Reflections, and one night we went down to this little coffee house, and it was a place where you pass the hat, and that's what they do. And I went and I was sitting there, and then Bernie said, have you ever thought of playing? It's like, well, not really. So I said to the guy, so listen, if somebody wanted to play here, what would they do? He goes, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I play some piano, I do a little vocal. And that was the first time I had played out in public, and it was like in this little hole-in-the-wall coffee house in Cambridge. And I guess it was a nice way for me to do it because there was no pressure. You just sat at this piano. They would pass the hat at the end. I remember once this woman, and I still have the sign, there was a little card, and it said, God respects me when I work, but he loves me when I sing. She didn't have any money, but she put this card into the basket. And it was like, now that's deep, and that was my first time playing. So from then on, I was like, okay, then I'm gonna, But I'd always been a kid singing around and trying to be Aretha Franklin, but yeah. But so I always did it. But to do it in front of people was a jump.
I worked with Aretha Franklin.
Get out.
Yeah, and Aretha, she would have said, you know what, I got some chills tonight.
I praise.
How do I actually want to? There's one of the things I noticed tonight with all of you was how all of you had this conversation going on with each other, and all of you served the song so well. I mean, I don't think there was a single note overplayed, and I think that there was so much room to breathe, where the songs just breathed. which that's the sign to me. And I usually, I don't do the bio thing, but I try and base what I talk about in this interview with what I actually experienced through a camera, and that's what I got tonight. Was that there was a great conversation going on in so many different languages. There were so many different styles that you could almost say that these are just different languages, but everybody spoke them. And everybody. So if any of you can talk about where you start, where you fit in with this,
I'm gonna jump in.
Okay, you do that.
I'm gonna jump in.
Here you go.
Are you going to jump on the floor?
Nope.
All right, then here's a mic. Oh, okay, here's a mic.
No, I got a mic.
Okay.
Oh, he's got his own.
We don't know where that mic's been.
It was just right here. All right. So I'd like to say it's my great pleasure to be playing with Mr. Kemp Harris for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I ain't 72. I started playing with him when I was 14. I started asking to play with him when I was 12.
I was going to say, we're going to go there. So we go to this place. It's called Star Island, and that's where I met Adam O, and he was 12 years old. So I'm, yeah. So I'm on this island. This 12-year-old kid walks up, and he's like, I think we ought to play.
Wait, hold on. Explain Star Island a little.
Oh, yeah.
In case nobody knows.
Star Island, it's one of the Isles of Shoals off Portsmouth, New Hampshire. There's an old hotel out there called the Oceanic.
10 miles
Yeah.
out.
It looks like The Shining, but really run down. And it's this family conference, and I've been going. I work with kids on the island because I taught school for like kindergarten for 38 years. But so I'm on the island, and I'm. Thanks. So I'm on the island, and this kid walks up, and he's like, I think we should play together. And I'm like, well, who are your parents? Why are you here? Get away from me. So we...
Took 2 years.
Yeah, so 2 years. Then when he was 14, he comes back, he's like, I really think we should play together. But he was playing the harmonica. You had then went down to Mississippi or something and lived on a houseboat with alligators. I don't know what he was doing. But he came back, and so we started doing these, playing in these theater gigs. Like it'd be like a little show, and I would do piano, and he'd play harmonica, and we'd do blues stuff, and we'd be out in Sudbury, Mass, and there'd be like a lot of people there at the theater who could come to the theater.
We also did.
And
we
then,
also did lounge gigs at the Holiday Inn.
Oh yeah,
poolside.
we did it all.
Poolside.
Yeah. So that's how long I've known this guy, and then how did we all?
Nope. Again, me.
Oh, here we go. Adam introduced.
It's not a coincidence that he's sitting in the middle of the five of us. Right
Yeah,
here,
it was
in the
Adam
middle.
who did introduce us all.
Yeah. That's enough said.
All right.
Oh, no? Except for Jockey. You're right.
I get credit for the crusher.
Yeah. All right.
Take the mic.
I get credit for the crusher.
You get credit for the crusher.
But yeah, that's his nickname, the Crusher.
It ain't nothing without the crusher.
It's a long story with the Crusher. But yeah, so we've been playing. I don't even know how long it is since I've known all of you guys.
20.
But
I've been around since 99 or 2000. 2000.
yeah, and before that, so it's
You
like
guys are like 97 anyway.
No. 2 of us been playing together.
Oh, these
1988.
these guys go back to high school together.
32 years.
32. Oh. Snap.
So that explains exactly what I'm seeing here,
Yeah.
is that everybody knows everybody. Everyone knows everybody's next move.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's key. And that's why it sounded so good tonight. Because everybody knows everybody's next move. And I love that, man. That's
Thanks.
great. That's
Thanks.
great. So you were a kindergarten teacher.
I'll tell you, I still work in schools. I started teaching kindergarten in 1974. And I taught in Newton, so I taught 38 years. Then I know it's a long time. And then I tried to retire, but my principal where I am now at the school where I am, she was like, okay, listen, don't retire. Why don't you just hang out, be like an aide, be a sub, hang out. So I was like, okay, well, so I retire. I'm like, okay, got all this time now. The first year that I do it, a kindergarten teacher gets sick in like December. And the principal walks in, and she had that look, and she's like, so. So I went back and I did that from December to June. And then I said, listen, I will do a 2-week stint if somebody breaks a leg or something, but I'm never doing that again. You are conferencing, you're assessing, you're doing report cards. I was like, I got things to do. I have, you know. So yeah, so I'm still there, but yeah. Yeah.
Can I just say, you should see this man with these children.
I can't even imagine how cool it is.
They're just, I wish I had him.
Oh no,
at that age.
you would have been timeout every day. I don't know if you saw when Adam started slipping out to the floor, and I was like, I'm playing, and I'm like, get back on the stage, Adam. Get back on and he's like, no, because we're in front of people, you won't make me stop. It's like a little bad kid, it's like, no. Then I'm like, Adam, don't fall down on the ground, Adam, don't fall down on the ground. He's like, you can't stop me. So,
I didn't have you early enough, that's all.
You were ready to call a timeout on him in the green room. When I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You saw it.
Actually, it's your fault because you said, no, be free and loose, and just do what you feel. I was like, don't tell him that. You have no idea what you're saying to this guy. Yeah, but so the whole, and I think that the whole teaching thing, that you are always on, you are always reacting to situations all the time, and I think that's where I just sort of learned to be spontaneous, because you have to be, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I did it for a year. I lasted 1 year. Out of college, 1 year I lasted, and then I was like, I'm not ever doing that again, ever. I am never doing that again.
It was great. When I was doing some theater, and I'd be doing plays, and I did some commercials and stuff like that. So all the kids in my class thought that all teachers do theater and do TV commercials. How come yours doesn't? And I remember doing hair when I had hair, and there was a scene where I was supposed to sit there, and I was, can I swear here? Of course. Okay, so there was a scene in here where we're looking at the moon, and I was like, look at the moon, fuck. And I looked down, front row, one of my students, kindergarten, with his parents, and I'm just like, look at the moon, fuck. Next day in school, I'm like, okay, so last night, that's called acting, that's called theater, and we don't say that in the world. Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah. A couple times it would get a little hairy, because I was like hanging out in clubs, smoky nightclubs. Then you're in school the next day, Miss Jean's romper room. It's like, what is my job today? It's like, oh, school. Okay. Okay. So yeah.
So let's talk about the songs tonight.
Okay.
Let's talk about some of the songs tonight, because there was, we ran the gamut of pretty much the history of American music tonight. We had the whole Caribbean and the Gullah Geechee influences there, and then we went to into some blues, and then we had some sorrow songs there. We went back to Alan Lomax back in the field recordings and the sorrow songs. There was some great stuff there. Your history of music is your knowledge of music is pretty intense. You're writing these things in these traditional styles.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you.
You're right on.
Thank you.
You're right on. You're right on.
I sort of grew up in the 50s, 60s, and so on. That's when I think artists were really using their music to push political ideology and using their music as protest music. And so I grew up in the days of folk songs and the early rock, the whole deal. So for me, I think as an artist, sometimes I just want to sing a happy song and have a good time, like wiggle my way through the nightlife, just go to LA and have a good time. But I think a lot of times I really am just trying to exercise some of those inner demons that you face when you are particularly looking at our country today. and I think about what's happening. So, I mean, like the song "Sweet Weeping Jesus," that was written. Thank you, but that was written in 19. I think no 2000 no 2006. 2006.
That was W, not
Yeah,
Trump.
yeah, it was W. Yeah, but it's amazing how it still applies. And so I think I try to write things in terms of not being so topical for that one time, but like some overarching generality of this could happen again. And so I keep singing about it again because I want people to remember, and I want people to sort of know at least how I feel about things that happen politically, socially, culturally. So when I write, I try to put that in there. So you pretty much know where I am, by hearing my songs. What I do, I know my husband Bill would always say, I can always tell what's going on with you. And I write a song, he'd be like, and so what's that about? It's like, yeah, and then he'd be like, is that one about me? It's like, no. No. But yeah, so I was either expressing getting my political angst or my inner own angst. But to me it's an expression vehicle. It's a vehicle for that.
You just made me think of something. Pick your brain a little bit now in a historical way, and this isn't in any kind of a racial way, but if you Mississippi John Hurt tonight, Fred McDowell. You can even go back to even deeper than that. Go back into the Piedmont blues, or even the early Delta blues. Single black musicians on a stage are called blues singers. Single white musicians on a stage are called folk singers. But they're still doing pretty much the same thing, right? But is that a historical way of segregating?
Wow. To me, like what you just said, like a single black artist is called a blues performer,
whether he's singing blues or not.
Right. Right. It's almost like blues was a dirty word. It was like, oh, well, we're gonna go see a blues artist, like.
It was juke. It was juke.
It was juke. Good word, yeah. And
oh, we're going now, man. We're getting in here
in
now.
Mingus's book, the opposite happened. Yeah, which you gave me, actually. Mingus heard the opposite, and they were touring someplace, and on the jukebox were white folk singers, country shit. And the band was down on it, and he was basically like, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
It's the same shit that we come from.
And the blues singers were not just blues singers. They were playing country, they were playing pop, and the blues. That was
All
the
those
genre they
names
were playing.
basically came from just figuring out which aisle you need to walk down in a record store. And all those names are bullshit.
Yeah.
The marketing.
So you agree then? You think
yeah.
this is sort of a this is what is this a capitalist or commercial way of segregating?
Capitalist is a little too loaded. I mean, you got to sell shit.
Commercial. It's a
selling
marketing
shit
thing.
isn't necessarily bad. You got to sell shit. It's okay.
I get that.
But a person communicating some truth through an instrument in their voice is a person communicating their truth.
So like that's I don't like this mic. Give me that. There's a similar story that may or may not be true, but it actually, like all good stories, it doesn't matter. Is that Charlie Parker was supposedly sitting in a bar listening. He was loading the jukebox, country music, and like another musician was with him, and he's like, yo, Bird, like, why are you playing this, this country shit? And he's like, listen to the stories. And so if someone as advanced as like Charlie Parker, who is the, the pinnacle of, harmonic expression, in the United States or anywhere, is saying it's about storytelling, and like, Hank Williams is telling a story, I'm telling a story in a different way. We're all storytellers essentially. And so that, to me, that gets back to what Kemp does and sort of what you were saying, Bill, before. It's like, we're here to support Kemp, the storyteller. Kemp is telling a story, and we're coloring the back pages.
Along for the ride, baby.
There's a friend here tonight. His name is Christian, and one day we're sitting and talking, and he looks at me and he says, "You know, I figured you out. You're just an old black man telling stories." And it was like, yeah, you know that's what I'm doing. I'm an old black man telling stories. And I remember saying to Josh that I want to write a song once, and I haven't written it yet, but I'm still gonna. But it's gonna be I'm finally the old man I've always wanted to be. Because when a friend of mine said, you know, when you get to a certain age, you get to take back what you used to give away for free. And it doesn't make you selfish, but it just sort of means that you begin to reclaim things. And so I feel like as I have played longer, that my writing has gone through my first song ever was like, the first song I wrote as a kid was so ridiculous. It was something I thought it was deep at the time. It was called Let the Water. And it was something like, the land is hot with trouble. Let the water cool you off. Let the soothing tides of brotherhood, something. And it was like, it was okay. I know when it was done, it was okay. I thought it was good.
You've been singing about water ever since, so you got rain, water. So he's got a lot of water.
I do a lot of water.
I think Coldplay had a hit with that.
Those bastards owe me money. If they sang that song, you tell them to call me. They owe me money. But I think my storytelling has evolved and sort of done through all that. But a lot of oddly enough, a lot of the blues influence that I have. I mean, I grew up listening to my mother sing. She was a gospel, choir, and so that's where I learned to sing. My mother was always, whether she was ironing or whatever she did, she was singing. And then I was like in high school, and I was like in the a cappella choir, and I would do that sort of thing. But I had just sort of learned to play piano by ear. And when you talk about that confidence thing, I remember in high school that I learned how to play Let It Be by the Beatles, and I knew how to do that by ear. And they had these talent shows. And I know there were like kids in the school they'd be in like 5 groups, five different things for the talent show. And I was in something with a bunch of folks, but I said, oh, you know what? I would love to do that Beatles song, the Let It Be. I know how to play that. I can just play that. And I remember who was the teacher said, well, you're already in one thing, so. And I remember feeling a little shut down. And so I think that I always felt I have something to offer, but I'm one of those people where I really have to be invited to get up, because I'm not a ballsy in your face kind of person. And that shut me down for a while. It was like, you know what, I know you could do it, but we're not gonna let you, because basically we're not really interested in seeing you shine that much. You can shine a little bit. But then I think as I got older and took more chances, and these guys, these guys give me a platform. I mean, I get to stand and deliver like Joe Cocker, rock singer. I get to play stuff. So they've given me like this platform of. We recorded the Edenton album, and I never do this because it always is embarrassing to me. But there are CDs in the back you could buy one. But we had recorded this album, and we're listening to the playback, and Josh is like, sounds too pretty. We need to go back into the studio. So I think that night we sat down over like a bottle of Maker's Mark.
No, you only had Canadian Club left.
Was it?
It was the bottom
That
of
will
the shelf. I'm like, we're drinking it, I guess.
Yeah,
And
well,
we're,
that
and
will
we're gonna
rough
figure
things
this
up.
out.
Well, we drank that and went back into the studio like, and
Changed the whole album.
yeah, the whole album got changed.
Woke up the next day and it was all the tunes were different.
Yeah.
Fucking tunes.
So
different feels, different.
So yeah, so I was bringing this sort of gospel and this thing, but these guys were helping me bring out the blues thing. We went in, and Josh was like, you know what? I want your voice to be really ragged. I want you to sound really rough. So I did, because we had drank all that alcohol. We went in late, so the whole thing had this sound that actually scared me. When I first heard playback, I was like, oh, because I had one thing that was sort of like Janis Joplin on steroids, and oh, darling, you made me so. And it was like, we can't release this shit because it's scary. I want people to know that I can sing. It's like they're like, no, it's good. But so. So, so yeah, so that the thing is, so in terms of that whole confidence thing, like a lot of the stage confidence that I got from performing, I really did get working with these guys. They gave me a platform to do something I had not done before. So yeah. I mean, I had not
There
done
is
that
no
kind
greater
of playing.
love right here.
I had not done
We
that
are
kind
like,
of playing.
this
I mean,
is a love
I'd
fest.
played the piano and done stuff, but I had not done a band thing. And so yeah, these guys give me a platform to be outside myself, in
That's
some ways.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you know.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys.
We were in the green room. I was going over the, which I do with every band that comes in. A lot of people come in and they have no idea what they're doing and why they're here. And they come in and they're like, "What is this?" And so I kind of have this little talk that I do with everybody, and I let everybody know that, there's no TVs on, the Bruins aren't playing, the Red Sox aren't playing. This is a listening room, and
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
And you did, I've spoken to a couple of you guys. You did pick up on one thing I told you, is that you'll do something. It's subtle. You'll think nobody heard any of it, and you'll hear it rumble from the back of the room, and that applause starts to just come like a wave forward. Does that change? Not the way you play, but does that change your awareness?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's okay, in any given song that we're performing, I find there's always like two colors to the song. One is like this is how we play the song and we're playing it and it could be going great. But as soon as you realize that there's like this energy that it does something to the song. It does something to my playing, and I know it does something to these guys playing too, where there's like a injection of I mean, I hate to sound cheesy, but inspiration in the song. It does happen, yeah. Awareness is a good way to put it.
With a lot of Kemp's tunes, there's in a lot of rooms, you need to space them out and grab people, and so you need to entertain for some portion, and then balance that with just being, And when you're in a room where you don't need to do that,
I was gonna say.
it just elevates everything, and you could, like Crusher said, you could feel it, and you kind of float on that, and not have this. You can just do what you want to do.
You go to another gear.
Yeah.
Well, it's just
absolutely.
it's actually like almost like you kind of lean back a little bit because you don't need to grab people. You
Cool.
know they're with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And so you could just kind of breathe it.
Yeah, grab that,
I
grab
think- I
that.
think
You're onto
that's,
something there.
I think
yeah.
that's what's important about this room, because if you're depending on where you're playing, like you have to have enough tunes that are like sort of the dancey tunes, because you want people to sort of stay dancing, because you can tell when the chatter begins to chat that they're kind of getting a little bored, they're having some beer, they're doing this, and then maybe you can catch them with something deeper and more political or whatever. But the thing about this room was that we were allowed to just do whatever it was we wanted to express. And for yeah. So I think the audience for that as well. I mean, you come here for that, and it's so clear. And I think there's as a performer, I remember having this conversation with, it's like, are you performing or are you being? And it's probably a combination of both. I mean, I'm so aware. I mean, I know when I'm singing, I know when I do grab the head and do some crazy thing. I know what it is, but I'm not doing it for show. I'm doing it because I feel it, but at the same time, it's helping me get stuff out. But I know I'm being watched when I do it, but I'm not going, you know what I'll do? Now I'm going to like grab my head and look really crazy, and they'll go, ooh, he's so deep. But it's more like, but it's more like, you're allowing me to be that. You're allowing me to be that, and I love that. I
It's
absolutely
that
love
Kardashian moment.
I know. You
No,
know what?
no.
My sister said to me once, she goes, why do you keep grabbing your head? You don't have hair up there. and I'm like, but there's all this drama, but it helps me pull it out. It helps me pull it out.
It's like dramatic, man. It's dramatic.
No, see, what I want to do is I want to clear something up here. That none of us, I mean, we're like this when we're on the stage, when we're off the stage, and you're right. I don't have to throw myself down for these guys, but the fact of the matter is that we're in the place where we need to be, and we're just not thinking. I was talking to one young woman earlier, and she was like, well, thank you so much for doing that, but you didn't have to do that. You're right. I didn't have to do whatever. Kemp doesn't have to do whatever he has to do. It's like putting yourself in the place where you need to be, and you're creating this environment that we're not thinking about it. And thank you so much, man. That's exactly it. Exactly.
And thank the audience for being hip enough to know the difference.
For being this hip. For being this hip.
This is the hippest audience there is. I mean, there is. I mean, I've done this for 40 years, and I've been through clubs in every state, and they're nothing like this. There's nothing like this out there. There's nothing like this. There's nothing like this even in Boston.
No.
Right.
No.
When Kemp played the Joni Mitchell song, you could have thrown a pin
That was it.
down the floor and heard every bounce.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
because people were listening, not because they're sleeping.
No. No. We've never had to wake anybody up in here. The object of this was always to kind of give independent musicians a level playing field. This stuff's expensive for if you do this out in the world. But a lot of bands have this opportunity to do these kind of things, and what we built here was for this, and so that what we're doing here is for the independent music community. Mm-hmm. So you got a place to go. You got a place that you can come away with something that's got some value, and it's put together well, and so now that's just wanted to let you kind of know what we're doing here. This isn't.
We cannot thank you enough.
Yeah, man. What an opportunity.
So what'd you think of the room?
Okay. So we came here, Jim and I came here maybe a month and a half ago, just to kind of check out the room. And I was coming to sort of find out, one, what is the room like? Steve had mentioned that it's a great place, you should come and see it. But I was like, okay, so there's this guy there, and if he doesn't, dig your band, you're not going to be there. And that's how it works. And so it's like,
We're talking about me.
No, but Russ, no, he didn't make you an ogre, but it's just like, you don't just
Katay!
No. No, but it's like, no, but he does.
He's gone.
Yeah, no, but it's like, he does bands that he likes, and you get all these things. But so I came in sort of thinking, I was going to need to come in and then I saw you walking around. You had the camera, and you were just like, okay, we're going to do the clap. Okay, 5, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So I'm like, so I
think the words
And I'm
you described to me when you said what this was. You said he's kind of like Bill Belichick,
just like,
and
no, I did. I was
and
like, no.
he's gonna tell you about what we're
I
doing.
had never seen you laugh and stuff like this. So when we were like, when the first thing I was like, the clap, and you laughed, and I was like, oh, he's cool. But I came sort of thinking, okay, there's a certain thing, and I don't even know how to get in here. No, you look like
That's the highest compliment.
Bill
I'm like,
Belichick's,
all right, this cat's
Bill
serious.
Bill Belichick's younger, hotter brother. It's just kind of, but serious. But so we come in, and you were like, and I was like, so hi, I'm Kemp Harris, and this is a great room, and I really let you know. And you're like, no, you're playing. When do you want to come? And I was like, this is awesome. So, but in terms of the room itself, the night we're here, one, the sound that goes out, your sound technician and all the studio, the lighting, it's all so professionally done that you, yeah. So we have been psyched to get here ever since you said we could come. So it's like, and tonight just absolutely lived up. And not only that, the room is awesome, the people are awesome, the food is great, the whole thing. But Mary Beth, that green room.
Oh, the green room.
Yeah.
You walk in, it's like a set from a film noir kind of thing. And the mirror in the back, I was gonna get makeup and put some on just so I could sit in the chair and do makeup. It was so fierce. Like I felt I should have been doing something with that. But every, the entire staff. I mean, the camera. One of the camera workers came from and said to me, and I didn't even know he was one of the camera. He said, "Yeah, I'm on that camera back there." Nat. And this was Nat. And he was like, "This was awesome." Da, 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 da. So it's like we showed up at the parking lot, and like two guys came out. They're like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm so and so and so. Can we help you take some stuff out? I mean, this is laid out for musicians to play in it. So it's like you don't always get that. You don't always get that. So
This isn't like schlepping gear down the stairs.
The entire team, the whole thing, it's incredible. So the room, yeah.
When I was a teenager, we used to play the Rathskeller. Anyone remember the Rathskeller?
Oh.
And I used to lay my Ampeg cabinet on the stairs and ride it down the stairs. And none of that here. So
I have a pair of shoes that stuck to the floor at the Rat. That they're still there, probably. They're probably still there.
I remember wearing brand new white Chuck Taylors out of the box to a gig. When I came home, they were black. I was like, "Are those my shoes?" Like, what?
So now,
The Pig's Head?
So the Crusher played in a band at
Oh, here we go.
at the Rat. And some kid in the band's dad was a butcher. Is that how you got your hands on it?
Yeah.
What was the name of the band? Austin's Dead. Austin's Dead. So they would parade in with a pig's head, severed pig's head on a spike.
But the other story, is that how you got the inspiration for parading the pig's head at my wedding? Because there are pictures. I mean, we ate pork, but the pig came out on the dance floor.
I have no comment on that.
So now I'm on the other end of the thing now, because I'm like, so will you come back?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh my God! Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I'm like,
Oh yeah.
now I'm like, well, oh, well, I'm thinking, wow, he's like, wow, it's like, no, man, so will you come back now?
Hey, I was thinking we could come back as Rollover Baby.
I was just saying.
Josh just whispered, he goes, you think they would let us do that? I'm like,
We have another band. Like it's these guys, but
Same
it's a
people.
different band.
Just different.
we drink more. We drink a
Yeah.
lot.
You know what? This band.
We'll get
we're
extra.
Like, we're like friggin' Sybil. Depending on the day, I could be doing like a Joni Mitchell tune, or we could just be like. So you never know what you're gonna get.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
But yeah,
I'm in.
I would love to. I would love to.
I would love
Absolutely.
to have you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Gentlemen, this was. I had not seen you until tonight. I trust Steve. Thank you, Steve. I trust him, and when he says, this is a guy that's going to light the place up, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. So you lit the place up. So let's do it again.
Thank you, Bill.
And thank you so much for being here, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank all of you. Thank all of you.
So wait, do we have any questions from the audience? Yes.
You really should mention Neon Grandma. And Grandma's hands.
That's a whole other band. That was another time. Yeah, that was a whole other world. We've been in so many bands together.
Anybody? Steve?
Well, it's the first time I saw you at Lily Pad. It was.
Yep.
I walked in and you were telling a story about how you were teaching your kindergartners a song that you
Yeah.
I think at that moment I immediately fell in love with What was that story?
There, when I first started teaching, because I would like play songs and music for kids that I liked. So, you know, my kids knew like Beatles songs, Joni Mitchell songs. They knew all these things. But there was this song by a group of kids, young little kids. It's called Pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side. It was this beautiful, Pass the
Musical
Dutchie.
youth.
There it is. And I didn't put it together. That's what it's about. So it was like, yeah. But it was like, it was a cool and breezy, lonely afternoon. And I'm thinking, what a cool thing. So I'm teaching the kids. And they're like, you know, pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side, pass the Dutchie. And we sang it beautifully. And then a parent comes in one day and she goes, do you know that's about smoking pot? And I was like.
And he said, no, you got some?
But yeah, so yeah, they knew a lot of cool stuff. Like I would go, do you remember Lenny Lovitch? Elena Lovitch, she had a song called New Toys. Oh, yes. I want some new toys, ooh, ew. So during the holidays, I taught my class new toys. I don't want a new refrigerator. I want some new toys, ooh, ew. And these kids were like 5, and then I don't want your affection. And they were just like rocking it. And parents, they let it slide. The parents let it slide. Nobody
That was the
complained.
80s, man.
It was the 80s.
It was the 80s. You
Yeah,
could get
well-
away with anything. You just, all you did was you just slid it right under the radar. I mean, there was, you know, I debated Tipper Gore on a radio show. I was on one side of the desk, and Tipper was on the other side of the desk. And I debated Tipper Gore during the whole parents' music resource. Yes. Oh yeah. It's actually on a CD in our library.
Oh, that's so cool.
You know what? I'm going to thank you now for standing up to that woman.
Oh.
All right. All right.
Oh,
Allowing me to
I
teach
went
kids new
haywire
toys and
on
pass the
it.
Dutchie. Thank you.
I just went off on her.
Well,
I was
how
like,
did
man,
that
you
come
know
to
what?
be?
That's
Thanks,
How did
Bill.
that come to be?
Now we
I
can
worked
all
for
enjoy
Atlantic Records in those days. I was the regional promotion director for Atlantic Records in the Midwest.
God, I wish I'd known you then. I'd have had
I
records.
know, no kidding.
And I moved to Boston in 1990, and I became the regional director for Atlantic for the Northeast. But when I was in the Midwest, that's when that happened. And we had just released, what was his name? It was, oh man, it wasn't Luke. I forget. But it was huge. I mean, it was a big rap song that was like,
2 Live Crew.
no, it wasn't Two Live Crew. It was worse than that. It was worse than that. But anyway, Atlantic was dabbling in that at the time, and I worked radio. I mean, you know, that was my job. I knew every radio station in the Midwest, and this guy was like, "Oh man, you're perfect. We got Tipper Gore coming in to do this thing. You want to debate with her?" And I'm like, "Oh well, fuck yeah, yeah. Like when, you know?" So, it was in, I think it was in Carbondale, Illinois, that we actually did it. It was Carbondale, Illinois. She was in Tennessee. You know, her husband was the senator from Tennessee. Al Gore was the senator at the time, and you know, Tipper came in, and I was nice for a minute. I was probably nice for 10 minutes. I don't know. Then I was like, you know what? That's not my job, man. That's your job. You raise your kid. Yeah. I'm not raising. It's not my job to raise your kid. Yeah. You know, if you don't know what your kid's listening to, that's your fault.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the thing. But I get where you're. But Lena Lovitch and. Past the Dutchie, and I mean, God, there was the Sheena East and Sugar Walls, and I mean,
I never did Sugar Walls.
You should have.
I should have.
You should have.
I know.
One more question. It's a common question. First of all, I've seen you play in a number of different venues at this point, and you've always got. If there was ever a room made for, and a group made for a room, you guys are just freaking awesome here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the sound was fantastic on stage.
This room sounds great, man.
Oh my goodness.
This room's got great acoustics.
I mean, and just the sound was done.
Well,
very
that's
well.
Eric, and that's Connor. I mean, you know,
Great job, guys. Great job.
Eric's our resident. You know, he's our front of house guy, and he's the best. He's the best. The lighting and the smoke tonight were great. All of that was great tonight. Rico, let's have a hand for Rico. Guys, it was great. It was great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
Please
Bill, for
come
having
back.
us.
Please
Definitely,
come back.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. All right.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Jim?
Well, am I glad this is right now? I've been drinking beer.
You're